the Within Orb podcast. Come get Within Orb. Welcome to another episode of Within Orb, and today we're going to speak to my new next-door neighbor, Joe G, a Brazilian by way of Canada, now living near CAELi. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
It's so great to have you, and I love working with you. You're on the board of ISAR. You've done so many wonderful things for the world of astrologers in terms of marketing and YouTube channel, and you've even helped the CAELi YouTube channel, and you're just like in all of the coolest places in astrology. So.
Well, thank you. I try to be.
Yeah. That said, let's just get right into it. What was your first astrology book?
My first astrology book was the only astrology book you'll ever need. I think that's the title, which was an entire lie. So I actually picked up the book and I read through it really quick. It came with this little CD where you could cast your chart and do all that stuff. And I read my own chart stuff and I kind of just moved on. And I was like, astrology's cool, but it's like, nah, it wasn't for me at the time. But my roommate at the time was the one who lent me the book. And so we just kept talking. And slowly but surely, she sold me on astrology. And I ended up getting all sorts of other books.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, if it were the only book you ever need, I'd be out of business, right?
I know, right? With all the books
like,
behind
what's this big book? What's this library doing? You only need one book. What's this podcast even doing? You only need one book.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's so funny. Cool. And yeah, so that's quite an entry point. You know, I think a lot of people have mentioned that would be, there's a very few set of books which are the first book. They're all kind of common. If you really listen to past episodes, it seems like that's one of them. Maybe it's the title.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the title. Because even talking to my friend and just remembering what she talked about, she went for that one because of the CD and because it had everything. And I think back in the day, astrology software wasn't even like that big of a thing. So to have a book that also gives you the software was probably like the selling point.
Yeah. Now you have it in your pocket, right? Like we have so many apps in our pocket. Very cool. Okay, so we're going to stick you into a remote island, maybe off of the coast of your home country, Brazil. And you're going to get to take 3 books with you, including the ephemeris, or in addition to, the ephemeris. What would you be bringing?
I think my top one would be World Astrology, the compilation book by Ben Dykes. Just because it gives you so much useful stuff, from like weather prediction to just like what's going to happen this year. What will you be able to find, and what won't you be able to find? What's available, what's not, and what's going on with the king, even though in the island there's no kings. I guess I would be the king, and maybe I'd look at the book like that.
What's going on with me?
I know. But yeah, that's actually an interesting point. If you're in a desert island, are you the king by default of that place?
I guess it depends on how animistic you are.
Yeah, that's true. I tend to lean very animistic, so I'll go maybe not.
Yeah, you could be like a democracy of one. Is that even a thing? Can you?
Maybe, who knows? But yeah, I just love that book so much. It also taught me to really think about astrology differently. So that was really nice, because even the like looking at how you can use astrology to predict the weather and to like plant things, which is like really where astrology comes from. I feel like that would just make sure that I survive in the island.
Right. No, I can see it now, just almost like a Sims game. But wait, so did you use this book when you were doing your public horoscopes?
I did for my monthly reports. I did the solar ingress, and then I would do the monthly solar ingress into all the signs. And that was like my go-to reference book every time.
I love that.
Yeah. My second book, actually, going off of the horoscopes, would be the Astrolabium Planum, which would not be very useful, but it would be just a good book to have.
Okay, so that's a new one for the show. What is the Astrolabium Planum?
Astrolabium Planum is this book by Johannes Angelus, and he just has a series of images for each of the zodiac degrees and each of the decans. And if anybody knows my work, the way that I wrote horoscopes was by using images. And that was like the biggest inspiration for me to start doing things like that. So I don't know if I would find much use for it in the desert island, but I probably would get a little magical, make some images here and there, and try to like guide myself with the stars just by matching the images with the constellations and the stars that they're close to. Yeah, I think that'd be the second one.
Yeah, you could also maybe spend a lot of that time creating the Astrolabium Planum Novum by you.
Ooh, yes, that is exactly what I want to do, whether I'm in that island or not.
I love how much, like, if you really listen to a lot of these conversations, it's like, and there's your book, and there's your book, and there's your book. So I expect now, everybody listening, this is a new gauntlet thrown for Joe.
Oh my God, I would love to write that book, honestly, though.
Yeah, no, I would love to see you illustrate it because, like, you know, you have also, like, one of the reasons why you're so high powered in the world of astrology marketing and helping all of us get a little bit further is that you were trained as an artist, which I
Yeah,
love.
that's right.
And I love that that's becoming like back, like you're going back to those roots as well and bringing the artist side of yourself out more. I feel like so many times we are identified as astrologers and that kind of saturates everything. And you're like rebelling, like, no more public horoscopes. I'm an artist. Here we go.
Yeah,
You know, so I
exactly.
absolutely love that. And this is a cool pick as well because, you know, you're talking about reading, but it's images. It's not reading words. So it's evoking something, but maybe, you know, something that's like not said or sayable.
Yeah, like the ineffable nature of the spirits of the degrees.
Right. Yeah. And you won't have anyone to talk to, so you're going to just be with it, you know?
Yeah, I can just be talking to stars all day long.
What do you want from me?
Oh my God.
I love it. I love it. Okay. And what would your third pick be?
My third pick is back to like a really useful book, which would be the al-Kindi's 40 chapters. It's a horary book, but it has all sorts of really useful things, like where to find hidden treasures, or where to find, like, I don't know, somebody who ran away, or this thing that you're missing, or I would probably use it a lot to find food in the island. So that would be my pick, and it's just such a good introduction to astrology as a whole that I feel like it would be a good book to always have and review and like learn again and again and again and again, and just get to a point where I just have it memorized and I can just look at the sky and be able to locate things and navigate myself through the island.
Yeah. I've heard that when you do horary frequently, you're so aware of where the moon is and kind of the diurnal motion of where you are that if someone asks you a question, you can already be like, no, the moon's in the Via Combusta. I'm not going to answer that. Or
Yeah,
like, you
totally.
know, like you get this orientation because it's just so responsive to your local environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would be a walking ephemeris.
I
You would have to
would.
be.
Oh
It
my
would
God.
happen. It
You
would
just find
happen.
me in a cave
Right?
predicting
Like,
things.
what
I'll never
happened to
meet
him?
anybody.
Wait, but so, okay, let's back up and go a little slower now. How did 40 chapters get into your life, though? Like, who turned you on to this book?
I think it was my friend on Twitter at the time when I was learning astrology. His name is Liam, and I was just trying to get into horary, but I wasn't sure where to get started. And that was the book that he recommended to me. And I read like a couple chapters, and I just ate it within a weekend. I think
Oh
I
my.
took it to Norwalk, or no, I think I got it actually at the ISAR conference, which was my first conference ever. And I read like half of it at the conference and then the rest on the plane going back at home. I'm like, oh my God, I'm now a horary astrologer.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite an impressive first horary book to pick up, too. I think most people come in through Lily.
Yeah, I think Lily just didn't feel right for me. I don't know what it was. We just didn't vibe. Maybe there's something with our synastry that I was like, I don't know. Like, you're cool, but I'll get to you later.
Right? Yeah, I know. It's like, oh no, you use Ptolemaic terms. Not really interested. Sorry. Sorry,
Yeah,
Lily.
that's true.
No offense. I respect it. And, you know, I always say, like, with like the open house system, if you're using Lily, you use what he used to do what he did, because that's what he did. Instead of saying, well, I'm only going to ever use the whole sign houses, but still do Lily and horary. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure that works. But that would be the only case that I would go back to using those Ptolemaic interpretations.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then, did you ever then apply the horary material back to natal after you got it?
Yeah, I think after I really got into horary, everything that I did with astrology really changed. Even my elections, I think that I started electing like it's a horary. So I became a lot more concerned about what's the most immediate thing that will happen, as opposed to just what do I want to happen. And I think I did a little bit of that too with just timing techniques like the solar return and kind of importing some of what I learned in horary to that. But it mostly just changed how I viewed astrology and how I viewed a chart as opposed to being this kind of, I don't know, the soul summarized. It became this sort of step by step of what's going to happen, and what happens first, and what happens after, and what happens after that kind of thing.
So does al-Kindi talk about the last aspect of the moon? Because when I was a baby electional astrologer, I'm talking like 25 years ago, I was taught to just, no matter what it is, if you just want to do something really simple and easy and fast, you just see what the last aspect of the moon is when you begin a thing, which was the kind of like, okay, well, the last aspect of the moon is going to be sort of the outcome. Does al-Kindi talk about that in his work?
Yeah, I think he talks about that in terms of a lot of lost object stuff, where like why the object was lost or how it was lost to begin with. The 40 chapters read so interesting because it really is just, if you have a horary about this, you go to this chapter and you do this. If you have a question like this, you go to this chapter and you do that.
So it's like a choose your own adventure, but horary.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome.
There's really a question for everything. There's one of my favorite chapters was about a party. If you're going to a party and you want to know what the food is going to be like, I'm like, this is the kind of question that I want to answer every time.
No, actually, that's amazing because, you know, a lot of times people will say, well, astrology can't tell you like what sandwich to eat. And then I'm hearing from you right now that it can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, should I have a Reuben or a grilled cheese? And it's like, well, the party is going to have none of that. It's going to be elevated. Wow. So if you had an exalted planet, then would it be like, this is great food, but it might make you have indigestion later?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. He also had like different things for the houses also, like where even the food is going to be situated. Is the food going to be like east of the entrance, or is it going to be west? Who is going to be serving the food? Is the person cool? Is he not? It's awesome.
So did al-Kindi have a Taurus moon? Just wondering.
I wonder.
Like, all I care about at this party isn't socializing. I just want to get to the beeline to the food. If it's good. If it's not good, I'm not even going.
My God, I love that.
I love it. I love it. Oh, wow. This is so cool. So then actually you could, but you could actually, in a rooted way, you could ask, like, what's the food going to be like at this party I'm planning, just to see, like, what the horary would suggest, like, what kind of food you should be serving.
Ooh, I never thought about it like that. That's
right?
Nice. Yeah.
Like, I'm like thinking like, should I like do this for UAC? Because, you know, like I'm involved in planning UAC, and it's like, oh, what's the food at UAC going to be like?
I know.
And then
oh my God.
Like, hey, you guys, let's talk about this menu, okay?
We should get every event planner into horary astrology now.
This is now a whole new market, actually. Well, think about it.
Let's start it.
I got it. Yeah, catering. Astrological catering.
Oh my God.
Thanks to al-Kindi.
I know. That's my favorite thing about astrology. It's because you get into it thinking that it's all about you, and then slowly but surely you realize that, wait a second, everything has a chart. And you can use a chart for so many different things. And there's pretty much every profession that you can think of, you can find an astrological use for that.
Yeah, astrology applied in so many ways. Yeah, but the horary angle, I mean, I'm happy to hear you say that it definitely has a before and after in your practice, because I do feel like once you go horary, you can't go you can't not know it, and it does change everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Imagine stepping into a room of 5,000 astrology books, turning a corner and stepping into a room of 2,000 more. The Celestial Arts Education Library is every astrologer's dream, and it can be yours. I invite you to come support CAELi before you can visit physically. Your support will mean the creation of 52 new episodes of Within Orb next year, 4 issues of the CAELi Review, our inaugural journal, and countless book talks, events, classes for our community. Visit our website, www.caeli.institute/support, to select your level of care. Please help support CAELi into the future, our future, so that we may study the future together. Thank you for listening. Please enjoy the rest of the show. So, is there anything, did you have, just let's circle back one more time. We're going to do this like winding. We're going to go back to 2 and then we're going to go back to 1. So, just going back to the Astrolabium Planum by Johannes Angelus. Are there a few degrees or decan images that really move you and stick with you? Or is it something where like some of them just stand out and won't leave you alone? And if so, what are they?
The ones that I can really remember are just my natal images.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, what's that? You look up yours and like, okay, there it is. Like Sabian symbols, right? I know mine.
Yeah, totally. But for me, it was really fascinating to just see like the thread of images from the Astrolabium Planum and outside of the Astrolabium Planum and how it all kind of matched, even though they never really talked as far as I know. Because a lot of my natal images is just always this guy riding on a horse. And
maybe you need to get a horse, Joe.
I actually do have a horse.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, my grandparents, they had a cattle and horse farm as I was growing up, and I was gifted a horse very young, and yeah, I forget her name. Her name was Flora because it was a lady horse. But yeah, so yeah,
a Brazilian horse even. How wonderful.
Yeah, I know, right?
Every kid wants a pony. Okay, Astro pony.
But yeah, so I think that was the thing that really spoke to me, just seeing like, oh, here's the guy on the horse again. Here's the guy on the horse again. Here's the guy on the horse again.
All right, now I need to know. There's a second book here. You got to write a book about him. Who is this guy on the horse going through all your images?
I don't know. I'm very curious.
Right? Like, we got to get his story. What are you doing here again? I love it.
Also, just to kind of like go on a slight tangent about the images, one thing that I had a lot of fun doing too was trying to figure out just like the rationale of why you're saying this image is here. Because I don't think it was like the Sabian symbols where it was just kind of more of like a sortilege sort of experiment. But yeah, and it was really cool to see how sometimes an image will point very directly to a star that would be at that degree at the time that Engel wrote the book. And you can just like slowly but surely go through all the images and kind of build this map of the sky. And it just helps you learn all the constellations and all the things in a very unique way.
That's beautiful. Do you think that the images also track with the bounds of the zodiac?
Yeah, I was trying to think about that. Some of them matched and some of them didn't. But yeah, I think so. I think there's a case to be made there. Cameron's work when he was talking about the bounds and like the constellation relationship between the bounds and sidereal astrology, I think it was.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there's definitely, if not an explicit parallel, there's an implicit parallel there just because people are thinking about it similarly, maybe.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just that because it is the bound of whatever, it shows up because that's how they work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like they are determining material reality. So it's like, oh, you want to make an image of this degree? Okay, well, it's going to be a knife because it's ruled by Mars.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it'd be cool to go through. That's what I want to do after we're done talking. I want to go pick it up and check out and see if they map onto each other just as a like when it might not match. And then what does that mean? And maybe it's the image of the star surpassing the bound.
Oh, right.
Or who knows, But I think everyone in their lifetime should make a set of degree symbols for themselves.
I think so too. I think that's the work of the astrologer. Whether you're drawing it or you're just writing a little poem or doing something, I feel like it just helps the circle feel alive. Because it really is.
Yeah. No, and like you'll get into it. It'll happen. They'll tap you on the shoulder if you're ready for it. Like you're just gonna be like, oh, there's an image, and then you realize like there was a story once, a fantasteroid called Fist Bump that came around. No, what was it? It was beheaded palm tree. So I was driving with Wonder Bright to an ISAR conference in 2014, and we were going through Palm Springs, and there was just this field of palm trees that had no tops. And I'm like, oh my God, look, it's a field of beheaded palm trees. And like, we were like, oh my God, that's a fantasteroid. And I was, it was a cheeky exercise, fantasteroid. I was like, let's make up fake asteroids because they made up fake planets in the 20th century, even though now I know they're not fake planets. They just have a
Yeah.
different cosmology. And so then fast forward a couple of years and Wonder's in my kitchen and her old roommate, best friend is there as well. And total non-believer in astrology, like completely not into it at all. And I go, well, we make up astrology too, like, beheaded palm tree. And she goes, I hate palm trees. Hey, Wonder, remember when we lived in this place and there was that like row of things and I used to imagine just snipping off the tops of each of those palm trees. And I'm going to myself like, can I see your chart? Her Mars was at the degree of beheaded palm tree.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And I was like, you can't make this up, but literally we did. And it still works. So, yeah, we checked the rising degree when we said the words beheaded palm tree and felt the energy, right? And then when that friend was visiting, I just checked her chart and her Mars was at that exact degree of zodiac. So, watch out for 7 Aquarius, everybody.
Oh, cool. I love that as an experiment because at one point when I was trying to learn electional astrology, I did a lot of that too, just like going on a walk and like check the degree that's rising and then do you see the thing?
And did
and
you?
more times than not, you actually do see something that's relevant to that. I remember one that was really striking that I was in Toronto and I think I left with Scorpio rising or something like that. And there was this on the floor because the ice was kind of melting and it gets like really muddy and gross in Toronto. But then like the gray part of the ice just looked like a scorpion and I'm like, oh my God. I saw it.
There it is. Okay, we're aligned. We got it. That is so cool. Yeah, okay. So you got a lot. I want to come visit you on this island. This is going to be a party. This is going to be fun.
Right? Look at
that. Yeah. So just to climb our way back out of this book stack, World Astrology 2 by Dr. Dykes. Why 2 and not the first one?
The first one has a lot about the flood, which is fascinating.
Oh, you mean the biblical one?
Yeah, the biblical flood, because whole thing is people trying to, because that's kind of like a big world event that would kind of like give you a world chart of some sort. So there is pages and pages and chapters of just astrologers trying to figure out when did the flood happen, and then just him explaining all the tables of floods and all that stuff, which is fun but less useful.
Right. We'll get back to that when Jupiter hits Leo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so World Astrology 2 then has all your weather, your plants, planting things.
It has a lot of weather, plants, also a lot of the stuff on commodities and things like that, which seems like it wouldn't be so useful in a desert island, but I don't know. I feel like you can do some creative reinterpretation of some of those techniques to get like just what's available for me on this island today.
A lot of lentils.
Oh my God.
The lentil lot. Yeah.
I know.
Very cool.
I love that.
Very cool. All right. So back out the island, you somehow escape or you back in civilization and someone comes up to you and says, Joe, I want to learn astrology. What should I read? What do you tell him?
I think I will say al-Kindi, the 40 chapters. It just gives you such a good introduction into the wheel of astrology and how it works, and then putting it into like these mundane contexts of just like, what's the food of the party gonna be like? Where's the hole in the ship?
Where's the hole in the ship? I love
it. Like, I don't know. I think it just, as a thought experiment, it really invites you to think about astrology outside of yourself. And I think that's really important because, I don't know, it's so easy to just get boggled down in just like your own life and how astrology affects it. But it's good to see how you're a part of a whole, like this whole thing, even like a hole in a ship will have a chart.
Yes, exactly.
And that doesn't make you any less special, but it just makes that hole in the ship also special.
Right. Yeah. And also it's like more inclusive. It's also more dynamic. It's very cool. I love that as a beginning. Like wouldn't think to put somebody on al-Kindi first, but why not, Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so where can people find you in this wide world of art and stars?
Yeah, I have a website. It's The Mercury Rising. I'm the Mercury Rise everywhere else on social media. I'm not very active right now because, like you said, I'm like working for all these other people. So you most likely will find me through other people's work.
Yeah.
But in the near future, perhaps after my Saturn return, there will be a comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you for taking time to chat with me and also penetrate the walls of Within Orb with your brilliance.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Within Orb. If you loved this episode, share it with your friends, give it 5 stars, leave a comment. In Spotify, you can do that now. To learn more about the CAELi Institute and perhaps become a member or take a lab that we teach, please go to CAELi.institute. That's CAELi.institute. Thanks again to the E-Block Band for providing our intro and outro music, and also to Jen Brown of JJ Boots Productions for being an excellent producer. If you would like to have a podcast be edited like Within Orb, reach out to Jen. This is Jenn Zahrt, signing off for now. See you next week.